Cool. Thanks for that, Essie. So I wanted to take a deeper look at how social works alongside TV, because this is something that we're basically coming into quite a few times already this year. So I just want to kind of go through how they might work together and kind of some strategies for doing that. First thing I just wanted to say is that there's quite a dangerous opinion within social that social is kind of like a competitor to TV advertising. Actually, that's completely wrong. What I think Essie has shown and going to show in this is that they work so well together. It's not social stealing budget away from TV. Actually, the best thing to do is do both, and they play really complementary roles. So these are three reasons I want to explore as to why they work so well together. So the first one is priming, second one is second screening, and the third one is incremental reach. So I'm just going to dig into each of those and then show how they work together. So the first thing is this priming effect. Look at this and try in your head to read out the colour of the text in your head. Pretty hard. Now try it on these. Read out the colour. Bit easier, maybe. So this is like an example of priming in action. So over our lives, we have been primed over and over again to look at the colour first, not the word. So that's like priming, not in an advertising sense, but that is the same mental impact that advertising seeks to influence. This is an example of priming gone wrong, or supposedly gone wrong. So the KFC advert where they used real chickens, have you seen that one? Like last year, got absolutely slated. The reason it got slated is because of that same kind of effect. So over the years, we've been primed for fast food advertising to like not focus on the actual animal. It focuses on like the end product. And when people saw this, it just like threw that all into conflict because it goes against what we've been primed. That's priming gone wrong. And I guess the argument I'm trying to make here is that social can work really well to prime TV. So when you put out stuff on social that kind of works with the TV stuff, it makes them both work so much better together. There's been a study on this just to kind of prove it. So that Facebook did a study where they kind of took two different approaches to priming a TV advert. So they did a TV advert that primes TV, and then they did social advertising that primes TV. And the results obviously were that when you prime TV with social, it's like way more effective than priming with TV. And it goes back to this graph that Essie showed. Advertising across multiple platforms is always better than just advertising on one. Like the combined effect is always way better. So if you're hitting people on TV and social in other ways, it's always going to be more kind of impactful than just spending all your budget on one. Second thing to talk about is second screening. Like everyone kind of talks about this in the industry, but just wanted to dig into like what exactly that means. This is a study of where attention goes during ad breaks in the UK. So when adverts come on during TV, 52.9% of the attention goes to mobile. Only 37.2% of people were actually watching the TV ads. And that kind of isn't just during TV advertising. So even when TV is on, 28% of that time is like looking at your phone. So like the phone plays a massive role when people are watching TV. And when this is happening, most of that time is spent on social. So when you look at your phone, when you're watching TV, you're usually looking at social. And within social, it's usually these apps. So Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Twitter. So that's where people are looking when they're watching TV, which is obviously like a really big opportunity for us to do that priming stuff again when we're layering on top. You're kind of, again, hitting from multiple angles. Another interesting point is that most TV happens in the evenings. So like all of the time during the day is like almost a dead zone for TV. So if you're hitting during social at that time, it's kind of like a different angle. So second screening, really important. Third thing that you might hear a lot in, if you work in media agencies, is this kind of incremental reach thing. So that means using Facebook to reach people that you wouldn't reach with TV. So it's like the additional people that you'll reach that won't see it on TV, reaching them through Facebook. There's a study on like who these people are, but a lot of people just don't watch TV that much. They're like light TV users. So if you want to hit them with a campaign, you can't just rely on TV, you have to rely on other channels. Nielsen did a study on this as well. There's like, it's quite significant, the amount of people who like just don't watch TV that much anymore. So you have to be layering on Facebook in order to reach them at all. And when you're kind of running analysis of campaigns, usually it's something like this. So you'll have like loads of reach on TV. You'll have some people who have seen it on both platforms. That's where their priming stuff comes in. And then you have some people who have just seen it on Facebook. And that's where you have to kind of communicate the whole message. This is what like a good analysis of how they work together would look like. So there are kind of three reasons as to why they work together. You've got this priming effect going on, second screening, and incremental reach. So like you have to use them both really. And when you do, like the combined effect is bigger than the sum of the parts. So it's kind of like a 1 + 1 = 3 thing. You would expect, there's this study, you would expect that if you use them both, you get a 22% uplift. It's like even more than that when you use them together. So like the combined effect is bigger because of that ROI stuff. Just wanted to take a little look at how creative should look, or like how you should think about creative when you're kind of working with TV stuff. So we had to think about this for a campaign we were doing for Valspar, and they were doing a big TV campaign, and our job was to kind of figure out how that plays out on social. So the strategy was around 3 different parts. So before the TV campaign was running, our job was like to prime. So we like went live a few weeks before with some smaller assets that just used the distinctive part of the advert. So the advert was around this chameleon, you might have seen it. On TV during priming, we just used that chameleon, pretty like short, snappy social videos to kind of prime people so that when they see it on TV, they will already kind of recognize it a bit. While the TV campaign's going on, it's a bit of a longer thing. So it's kind of like a social version of the TV ad, like that lifeboat stuff. It's kind of like so that when they see it on TV, they see it on their phone, it kind of works together. And then it also plays an extending role. So TV campaigns usually don't run that long, but social can like extend the impact if we keep on running stuff afterwards as well. So that's how it might work. Another interesting thing that came up in a pitch this week is around social is kind of like reverse storytelling. So whereas on TV, you've got the attention on the TV, you kind of build up to like the punchline or the kind of thing you're trying to say. On social, you kind of have to start with that because otherwise people will scroll past. So you start with the kind of like TV punchline and then introduce kind of the slower stuff. Quite interesting. Final bit just on media. Again, this graph, this will only work if we're targeting the same audiences. So it's really important to work with the media agency on what TV ads they're buying, like what audiences they're going for. How do we translate that to social targeting to try and make sure it's like the same people that we're targeting, like super important. Otherwise we don't get any of that impact. The second thing is this combined timings thing. So we really need to like be joined up in terms of when the TV ad is running, like what kind of timelines it's going for so that we can stagger our creative at the right points. And finally, really good measurement solution around this, cross-platform brand lift. It's run by Nielsen, who are like a third party away from Facebook, and they track the uplift on people who've seen the TV ad, seen the Facebook ad, and the people who've seen both, and kind of measure the uplift on that. It's a really good way to show how Facebook and TV are working together. It means we have to kind of collaborate with the media agency on doing this stuff. So that's it. Just want to go through, so the reasons that they work together is because of this priming effect, this second screening thing, and a way to get incremental reach. For creative, we should be thinking about this prime, layer, extend model. And for media, it's all around kind of combining the targeting and the timing. I think that's it. Thanks, everyone.